Hello.
Ready when you are.
And guess what? This is Welcome to the Movie Remix, the show about classic movies and their modern remakes, part D.
Mhm.
And I'm Constance.
I am Sherry, and here we're going to talk about our reactions and the recasting, the fun stuff that we love to do with these films when we've watched them back to back. And if you missed it, you're just coming from part one or you didn't catch the thumbnail, we are doing The Parent Trap. The
Yes.
original, yes, the original was released in 1961, starring Haley Mills. The remake was released in 1998, starring Lindsay Lohan. So, Constance, let's start with the fun stuff. What are we drinking tonight?
Wow. I have sad news.
No.
I am drinking the last of our trip up
Oh,
north. Drinking the very last Moonlight Meaderies, Kurt's Apple Pie.
oh. We got to go back. I'm going to drop the link to the Moonlight Meadery. That
I'm just
um,
saying,
the tasting was what, like $6, $5?
I can't even remember, but it was
But
worth
it was
it.
like nine of them of me.
And they were like you were going to get lit off the tasting.
We was in New Hampshire.
And yeah,
That whole trip, we talked about the main portion of the trip one afternoon here when I was drinking. That was the New Hampshire portion of the trip. It's an extended backyard, but that is definitely a commercial for go vacation in your backyard. You'll never know what you're going to run into.
right. And this, just as a side note, it's apple mead with Vietnamese cinnamon.
Mm.
See, we're international. And Madagascar bourbon, vanilla beans.
We might have to go back.
Might.
So this is as I've been shamed by my child. The running joke around by my friends is that the house wine is barefoot because I can get like 3 or 4 bottles for $20 and I'm good. This actually I saw on their shelves yesterday or this weekend, and it is a fruit scotto is what they call it.
Fruit scotto.
It's a fruit scotto. So this one is watermelon.
Yeah. So it's like just in time for the warmer months.
Yeah.
Something
and
a little crisp, refreshing.
Right. And it's light, sitting out on the patio, sitting back and sipping, have at it. I had the peach, which was amazing. For $7, you can't kill it.
You know what? That actually would probably work really well with like a sangria or some mixes like that.
Exactly. So
a fruit scotto.
It's called it's barefoot fruit scotto. It was a good pickup, because it was just me in the house.
To their marketing team.
Yes. So again, we talked about it already. We watched The Parent Trap. Let's give us, you know what? We're going to tell you already. We really had a good time with this one. We had a very good time with this one.
Absolutely. In fact, this is one of the few that I really like the original. And I've seen the original several times prior to this. So I didn't just see it because Sherry saw it now. So this is not first time. Actually, I've seen this one several times as a child and, growing up and everything like that. And when they came out with the remake in 1998, was it the original? No, but I still enjoyed it and I would still watch it if it came on.
And that is my exact same summation. I had, my children were, roughly, 8 or 9 years old at the time. So I probably watched the remake with my children and then watched the original on my own, as a child. And I thoroughly enjoyed both films. So wait a minute. I told Constance, I'm going to give you a hot take. Tell me about this. We got that already. We don't need to do that. So now we're just going to go into the fun stuff of what about the update to the from the original to the remake that we really liked. Like where did the remake really sing to you like, yes, y'all did a really good job?
Let's see. I liked how they still kept the pranks in, the and the poker game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? Because I can get behind a good poker game.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so I appreciated that. Although I will say one of the things that was kind of weird for me was the fencing scene.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's the first time they actually see each other versus in the remake, it was a little more natural, which would be the cafeteria. So they had time to keep looking at each other. The fencing scene, I felt like it was just a little overdone because, you know,
mm-hmm.
they're what, 12?
Yeah.
And, you know, all of a sudden you're fencing like you're you're in the Mask of Zara. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, I'm sorry, I took fencing.
Mm-hmm.
No, not. I wasn't doing that at 12. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But other than that, I think where they sold it for me that the remake really did a good, did an amazing job was actually on the reveal when because in both the remake and the original, it is the proper twin. And I'm like, that's the way I'm going to use it. There's the proper twin who was raised with the mother in the rich, refined setting, or that was in the original. In the remake, she was raised in London. So I'm just going to say the proper twin. How they stuck with that the proper twin was going to be the one to tell the mother, like, hey, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not who you think I am. Even how they found out, even how they brought it together that they found out, because if I remember correctly, in the original, the proper twin shows the California twin the picture of the mother.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
So, because the picture was ripped in half. It was the same picture.
That was it. That was in the remake, which I also like. So I like that they brought it together.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like how they still brought that aspect of it, that it was going to be a picture of their parents.
Right. Although let's quickly touch on, because as much, and like I said, I like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like this movie. I would watch it 1,001 times.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest, the plausibility of parents choosing a kid, saying, this is my kid. Mm-hmm. You're going to take this twin, you're going to take that twin, and we're never going to talk.
Right. That, yes. The plot of this film is implausible. In 60, I think you could almost get away with it. In 1998, I don't think so. And
really? Even when you would never ask, how's my other kid doing?
They trusted that you got that.
But it's not even that the parents actively avoided each other, but then the kids didn't really press, because I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll give you that. Maybe in the 1960s, you know, because, you know, children were more seen, not heard. Mm-hmm. But you're not asking where my daddy is, right? Where my mama at? Because they never lied to him and said that they were dead.
Right. No, they just said that they just weren't together and we just don't talk.
Right. So I'm like, where's the parents at? So
the plot line is implausible. We agree. We know this, and we're just going to run with it.
But with that being said, it was still very enjoyable. And I liked how in the remake, they still really did keep to the original, but, you know, they took a few liberties here and there, whatever as such, but it worked. Like, they didn't just completely scrap it and try to do their own thing. They stuck with the original, and then here and there, they made a couple of changes, or updates that I can appreciate. And they did a great job with it.
They kept it to the original where it needed to be kept to the original. The fact that both fathers lived on a piece of land, a ranch, a winery, like
they were a little rougher around the edges.
Right. Both fathers were rough around the edges. Both fathers loved that little girl.
Yes.
Both sets of parents loved their little girls.
They stuck with the camp scene when they went off to the woods.
Yes.
And they even kept like the banging of the sticks and then the
Yes. Oh God, that was funny.
mosquito spray.
The
It was
mosquito
the sugar
spray.
water.
Yeah. They kept with them two fighting and being caught. You know, and we're jumping around the film. The way they come to the realization that they are sisters, in that they were fighting, and then the camp's like, no, y'all two are going to work this out and put them in rooms by themselves.
And then even how they even start the conversation with like that whole scene is pretty much verbatim, because the wind's blowing in with the weather, the rain or whatever is blowing the girls' pictures all over the floor, and the other one helps her, and then and they're talking, and then we found out we're sisters. And I thought that was, although I thought it was cute that it was Leonardo DiCaprio this time. I was like, oh.
But that was a cute update. It was the part right. These updates are so perfect and on point. They're even to the scene where in the original, the father's property includes a lake.
Mm-hmm.
And when he sees that the mother is in the house, he falls into the lake. When it happens at the hotel, he falls into the pool. Excellent.
And it was, and I have to say, his reaction when he was with his fiance in the elevator going up to the room, and he sees his ex-wife, and he's like, he
meet her up there.
Maybe that's why they make do not disturb signs. Alone at last.
he did that so well, because it was like the complete awe and shock of it. You're like, he's like, what?
Like, you're here? Like, why are you here? So yeah, and and the arrangement of the kids arranging for them to go out to dinner, their first date.
Although I will say, I kind of in the remake, I actually did like the additional romance between the nanny and the butler.
Yes, that was cute. Yes,
that was because they're like, oh, I was like,
but when we tell
how's that gonna work?
Nancy Meyers did such a great job updating this film, even to the point that it was the maid at the house that had figured it out beforehand.
Yep.
I think the only person that wait a minute. Yes, in the California house, it was the maid that figured out that this was not Hallie. And in the parents in the mother's house, it was the grandfather that figured it out, that you're not who you're the other twin. It's like, I know you're not my granddaughter. You're my
granddaughter, but you're not the one that's supposed to be here, granddaughter.
You're not the one that's supposed to be here.
So, although that was the one thing that I thought was really interesting too, is in the remake, they got rid of the maternal grandmother.
Yes, they did.
Versus the original, where she's there and she's very domineering and
very involved in life.
Yes. So I thought that was an interesting, but it worked. Like, I'm not saying you didn't miss her, but you didn't miss her.
You didn't. I also liked how in the time that they're traveling, that granted, it's a little patriarchal, but the mother made sure that she was going to be as cute as possible when she landed in California.
Yes. Absolutely. But we both know it was literally because she wanted to make sure, just like, even if you don't have feelings for your ex, if you see them out in the street, you want to look fly, you want to look beat to death. Be like, what? So you miss all of this.
Everything. This is hitting it all.
I still look fly.
So I love that. I said, as far as remakes go, we said this as we were coming into our conversation in our pre-chat. This is probably one of the best remakes in the 8 films that we've done. this is probably one of the best ones that we've seen. This is definitely in the top. Well, so if we would say the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it definitely stayed true to the original, but it stood beautifully on its own.
Yes. It's it's perfectly updated. It's perfectly updated. And I think I think the only thing that I was like, okay, they didn't need to do that was give Lindsay Lohan the British accent. Like, I think they could have done it in the original. It's
West Coast,
Boston and
East
California.
Coast.
It's
Right.
East Coast, West Coast. I think they could have still done that.
But I feel like, yeah, they could have still done that, but I think it's a little more plausible for an implausible plot to have for West Coast and then England, because it puts more distance in a world that's getting smaller.
True.
So I understand that, although it begs the difference, or the not the difference, but it begs the question: why on God's green earth are you sending your kid to a camp in the U.S. from the U.K.?
That would be my question too. Is
there only one camp? I mean, or is this like the top-notch camp in the world? It
had to be some special kind of camp that's where they both in, because he sent her there from California, right, wherever this camp is. So, granted, it looked like a fun camp.
Right.
It looked like
I'm just very confused as to why. I mean, does the England not offer any camps?
Right.
Is this the only camp for young girls in that age group in all of the U.S.?
Are they learning something special? Like, is this an Olympic training camp? But anyway.
Right.
Other than that,
I know what it is. Illuminati wives. Boom.
Boom. There it is. There it is. There it is. We do want to say, give our condolences and rest in peace to Natasha Richardson, who played the mother. She passed away in a skiing accident. I remember when it happened, and that was like really sad because she was just out skiing, and I believe she hit a tree, and that happened in 2009.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I just want to say rest in peace to her. But the rest of the cast is still around. They're in the video that released last summer. I'll drop a link in the comments because it's a fun little cast to get together. If we got one thing out of the quarantine this past year, we got a lot of these cast get-togethers.
Right. Because it's
it's fun
and it's sweet, and it's nostalgia at its finest.
And after and the other thing is that after all of the media brouhaha over Lindsay Lohan in the aughts, to see her in this, it's like, okay, she looks healthy, she looks happy, she looks really good.
Right. Before.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about now.
Oh,
like, if you watch this video that happened last summer, she looks happy, she looks healthy,
that's right, because she was doing a show too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she looks really good right now. So we're just going to skip over, especially after the Britney Spears documentary, which if you haven't seen it, go watch it on Hulu. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Because it can't be easy growing up in the public eye and everything you're doing being, dragged out on the world stage.
Every mistake you make. Lindsay, I know nobody else is going to apologize to you, so I will for all of them for dragging you through the mud when you were enjoying your early 20s and
live your life, girl.
Living your life and living your life. Be living your life.
Just don't drive drunk anymore.
Right.
Just don't do that.
So what is your wine score for the original?
0, because I like it.
Wait a minute, did you drink any wine for the remake?
I had a glass, but it was only like half a glass. And that's only because it was sitting there.
Pretty much. I can't even say that. I don't think I drank it all during watching both films. And I watched them back to back.
Yes.
Just so that I have it. Also, didn't mention it. I got the films on Disney Plus Both of them are there. So if you are subscribed to Disney Plus, both films are available there. They're also available for rent on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime. So you can watch the films. They are out there in the world.
Beep, beep, beep.
So the hard question, the original or the remake?
Be still my little heart.
I'll give you an
The
out.
original.
Whoa! Why the original?
Because it's the original, and like I said, I like both. Like both, but I really liked the I think the chemistry was there a lot more for me in the original than the remake. And then just how they treated the gold digging fiance.
So those scenes are hysterical.
And actually, they're hysterical in both of them.
Yeah, in both films, they're hysterical. When they put her out on the pond, y'all have to watch this video because apparently there is a in recent years, those that watched this the remake as a kid, they're like justice for Meredith, like it was just Meredith that bad. The original or the remake? Oh God. First, I will say this: I will sit down and watch either one of them again if they are on my TV. I won't care because I'm enjoying it. Right. I enjoy both of them.
Although the ending for the second one, because you're thinking, oh no, they're really not going to get back together. So it was that, you know, that
we're going to fly to Paris and you're going to fly and beat them, yeah.
And then when they're there and they meet him back home, and you're just like, he came after her this time. Yes!
Right? Yes, yes. So
I mean, you have to understand that this film is, you know, at its core, it really is a romantic comedy. Like it's a feel-good film. Like things gonna be happy endings and things like that. So if you're looking for, you know, horrible situations, dire, you know, you're not gonna get it in this film. And that's
if you're looking for a good escape, both of these films are a good escape. I like the fact that they showed that both of them got married at the end.
Yes.
I like both of them.
See, that's the thing. Is like I like the original because it's the original. But then,
I'm gonna have to go. You know what? I'm gonna say that, and it's not even that I don't like the remake. It's like if I have to pick one, I would say the original. But I love both of them. I love both.
And then, although there's really good scenes that, you know, are really heartwarming, like in the remake with when the Chelsea, the maid, or the nanny in the father's home, when she realizes that which twin she's actually talking to, and you know, dad comes in, he's like, well, what's going on? And he's like, why are you looking at her like you've never seen her before? I've seen her, I just remember, you know, and how she basically
tries to cover it up,
right, and cries in the entire birthing scene of even down to the height and the weight of the child.
Yes.
It's just like,
honestly, if you just look, you know what? You've had a bad week and you just want to find something to make you feel good about life, watch these films. That's just where we're going to go. Watch these films. So our fun part, where we get to have the most fun, is our recast. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because
we both have the same problem.
I'm going to preface this with saying I am fully aware that I'm probably going to be talked about for one of them, and I don't care. I don't care.
I'm ready.
So for the main lead, for the twins, I chose Antonia Gentry, and just in case, because she's in her teens, I believe, or hopefully she should still be. For those who don't know who she is, there's a new series on Netflix. It's called Jenny in Georgia, and she plays the teenage daughter in that series. I
And
feel
she's
like
actually very good. She's very
right. And I feel like she could definitely play
Mhm.
both parts of this role, the proper young lady and the California sunshine girl.
right. I agree.
For the fiance,
Hmm.
I chose Diane Guerrero. And just in case we don't know who she is a little Latina in The Orange is the New Black.
I know who that
She's
is.
she had her and her friend had on a lot of makeup. They had their own little camera show series or whatever
Mhm.
while in lockup or whatever. So I felt like she would do really well as because she already, and this is not to say that she's a gold digger, but you can see her as the young stepmom.
Mhm.
She has very much a sex appeal, and you can just see that, I'm here for your money, but I'm going
Yeah,
to be really sexy about it. I can see that.
I agree.
For the mom, and I know this is way out in left field, but I like it and I don't care.
Go ahead.
Nia Long,
Oh, I like.
because she's now in that age bracket that she can conceivably be the mom of some twins.
Mhm.
And then plus she can definitely play that upscale proper woman that's that business minded woman that's living her life, taking care of business at whatever business she's
Mhm.
doing. She can definitely make that work. And then the father, which I understand that this is going to be controversial,
Mhm.
but I feel like because Nia Long and Diane would have really good chemistry with this particular fellow,
Mhm.
and they could make it work because they're just outstanding actresses.
Mhm.
I chose Dwayne Johnson because
Wow. Wait a minute though. I can see that.
because he's already done a couple of like comedic films, and
But
he's played that role of
fathers.
right.
But
And
he's never done a romantic comedy. That would be.
and this isn't too far off of what he's done before. And even though he may not be like the best actor, I feel like he can definitely have a chemistry with either of those women,
I
you
agree.
know. And then I was also looking at the fact that if I'm choosing Antonia,
Mhm.
right, that's her name, Antonia, as
Right.
a child, she's a mixed child.
Right.
So it would make sense that you have at least
A mixed parent or a lighter. I get what you're saying.
right in the mix there. But I felt like I was like, and then he's now in his grown man stage because he's older now. He's getting some gray in there, and he's
And it's
still built,
and he also
really.
has children, and as we've seen with other actors, they also, as they have children, they go through a period where they've done all the action films, and now I'm going to do a film my kids can watch, and then I'm going to go back to doing my raunchiest stuff, a la
Right.
Eddie Murphy. um Not saying that he did it bad, I'm just saying he did that. He did some family friendly fare, and then he can do his other stuff. So yeah,
Right.
I
And
agree.
I think he could do this. And like I said, I know everybody may not agree with it, but I
It would
think
be
it's
fun to
something
watch.
that
It would be a fun
that
watch.
right.
Okay, so I'm going to come around this way because this is how I did it. For the father, I have picked Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us
Huh.
because I would like to see him do a romantic comedy, and I think he is gorgeous.
Okay.
For the mother, I've picked Tiana Paris, and you've most recently seen her in WandaVision as Monica Rambeau. For the twins, I have picked Marseille Martin. She is 16. She like they would have to shoot this like now. She looks young, and you would know her from one of the Blackishes. From Blackish.
Uh-oh.
She's on Blackish.
Okay.
Okay, and she also she like is the youngest producer. Like she could produce this project, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so because we have the connection from the original to the remake through the mother of the fiance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've decided that the fiance should be Lindsay Lohan.
And there's that. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah. I've just decided that that's who it's going to be.
I mean, it would be a really nice and appreciative nod to the remake.
Right. And I think, and she would, and I think she,
and it's a continue on with tradition.
And a continue on with the tradition. Like I thought about trying to set this up with somebody else so that we could bring in Elaine, who played Vicky in the,
okay.
Meredith in the remake. Like I was trying to set it up so that she would come in and play the mother again. And I was just like, no, I went straight for Lindsay Lohan as the mother. Lindsay Lohan plays the fiance.
So that's fair. Like I'm not mad at it.
No, neither. I was like, that's cute. I was like, there's something cute to do. So that is our final question, as we always ask. Do you think they should remake this film? It has been 22 years since the last time it came out, 1998, 23 years
now. I would. Okay. I'm going to say no, simply because they did such a good job with the original and the remake. I would hate for them to do a third version in an era of time where it would have to take almost drastic changes for it to even make sense in this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would just murder the film.
I am going to disagree and say I think they can remake it again.
What camp? Cyber camp?
I think they can remake it. I think they can keep the separation somehow.
In this digital world?
It would have to be one of the two parents are no, there are some parents out here that are not about social media for their kids, that are not about.
That would be the dad. It would have to be the father.
Right. So like he would be like, no, you can't have a cell phone. No, you can't be on Facebook. No, you can't do this. You can't do that. Me and your mother don't talk. She's out doing something in the Peace Corps. Like it would have to stretch the story a little bit about why the parents aren't intact, aren't talking. But I think it can be done. I think it can be done. And I think that in true fashion, because it's a child actress and a child star, one, there would probably be a national search for this child that's going to pull off this dual role. And B, I would also not be upset if the child was a boy.
And there's that, because I was considering that in terms of my recasting.
I did. I looked for a boy. Sometimes when it comes to having to cast a child, it's hard because you're trying to cast in the age range that the movie is. And like, okay, if they were to take the suggestion, the movie's 3 years from hitting the screens anyway. Right. So, but I think there would be a national search. Although,
like I said, I did consider a boy, but I also think that little girls are probably a little more sentimental and a little more inquisitive in that time frame than boys are.
Right.
And they, and there'll be more about the romantic gestures, just simply because during that age, that's when you're, of the romantic notions and like, whereas little boys, they're still maturing, and as much as they could be about wanting to, hang out with girls, they could still very well still be like ill girls, ill, right. And the whole point of romance and da da da. So that was my only thing. The reason why I stuck with.
I got tired of looking, and I hit this one, and I was like, she looked the right age. Okay, so we will be back in April, and we are hitting into a new genre. So excited because I have not seen the remake on this one. I've seen the original.
And I know you told me, and I totally forgot what we said.
We are doing our first disaster film. We are doing The Poseidon Adventure.
Chum, chum, chum.
I have not even heard any reviews for the remake of The Poseidon Adventure. I just know how much I enjoy the original.
When did the original come out? Because I will say this much, I have not seen the original nor the remake. So
wow. So these will be two new films to you completely.
totally.
The Poseidon Adventure, the original came out in 1972. The remake came out in 2006. Both of them are available on Amazon Prime. If you have any suggestions for us on movies you think we should take on, originals and remakes, let us know. Our only caveat, thank you, that we put on it is that just make sure we can stream it. Just make sure we can get our hands on it so we can watch it.
Yeah, because it's sad when we want to see something, we can't get a hold of it.
Yeah, we wanted to do 13 Assassins. If anyone finds it where we can get our hands on it,
please, because I want to do a kung fu flick.
We really would like to do that, but this will be our first disaster film. We have some heist films that we need to get back to. Later on this year, we will be doing the West Side Story. We are just waiting for Steven Spielberg.
Yes, come on, Steven. Come on, Steven.
We are waiting on you.
And the Thomas Crown Affair, because because I've not seen the original, but I like the remake.
I've seen both.
Because anytime that we're gonna, crash a sailboat into the ocean, I'm here for it.
That scene is cool. I can't wait to watch that on this TV. Anyway, everybody, come back next month, and we will see you in time for the Poseidon Adventure. Like, subscribe here, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Au revoir. Till next time.